isn't another Monday evening with my least favorite student. Have you seen your grades recently? Well, at least you're here for your private tutoring session. Okay. Listen, you're falling behind in math, but I'm sure you don't need me to tell you that. I'm sure you have your parents back at home busting your ass about it, especially considering how they're the ones who keep emailing me and texting me to teach you right. You need to start paying attention in class. Your parents seem to think that it's my fault that you're falling behind. Well, how about this? If you can get an A on this grading period, I will give you something special. How does that sound? A little present. That's right. None of my other students will get this. Just because I want you to succeed, and I don't want your parents to keep pestering me about how I'm failing their little boy. So, how about a deal, huh? Okay. Before we start, I see that in your pocket. Hand it over. Yeah, you know we don't do that around here. That's what I thought. You can have this later. There's a time and a place for one of these, and that time and place is not now. Especially because this upcoming exam is testing you on if you can do this stuff without a calculator. Okay? It's a basic math and memorization test. So why don't we just get started, huh? Okay. I'll sign you off on your sheet after the end of this tutoring session, okay? And then you can show it to your parents. And for showing up, you will get 5 bonus points on your quiz tomorrow, okay? Perfect. Okay. So, from what I saw on your last quiz, you seem to be struggling with, just a few basic concepts here. Okay, my pencil seems to be working. So let's get started. We're gonna go over a few basic concepts, okay? We're just gonna review this real quick, okay? So we know how to add and subtract, right? We'll get to the multiplication afterwards, okay? So, let's do addition, for example, okay? Let's add 12 and 18. Okay, we remember how to do that? You remember this? Draw the line, put the plus sign right there. Yep. Okay, it should look like this on your exam and your quiz tomorrow. Okay? And when it comes to addition, it doesn't matter the order of your numbers, okay? Just like if you were to see it like this, okay? It's the exact same as that, okay? You remember that, right? Yes. Subtraction is a bit different. We'll go over that when we get there, okay? Now, so, when using these, the vertical way, you want to add these two numbers first. What is 8 plus 2? Come on, 8 plus 2, you know that. 10, correct, good job. Now, do you remember what we do? What do we do when we get a 2-digit number from our first digit? That's correct. You put the 1 on top and you put the 0 on the bottom. Okay? Very important. Okay? But let's say the number was 12. Okay? Imagine if the number was 12. Hypothetically, 8 plus 2 is not 12, but let's say we got 12. What would go here? A 2, correct, and the 1 would go up there. Let's say it was 35. That might not be possible now, but in the multiplication it would be. 35, what would go down here? That's right, 5 and the 3 would go up top. Okay, now that we have this 1 floating above these two 1s, we're going to add all that together, okay? So what's 1 plus 1 plus 1? That is 3, correct. Good job, okay. Good job, 30, okay. Let's do a little bit of a harder one, okay? Damn it, these pencils are so cheap. We don't get paid enough, I swear. I had to buy this pencil myself. Can you believe that? I'm a teacher, and I had to buy this pencil. Unbelievable. Okay. Let's do a harder example, okay? Put the plus sign there. And let's do some big numbers, okay? 46 plus 132. Okay. So, 2 plus 6. And remember, you want to line up. So, 56 is smaller than 132. So, because 56 doesn't have a third digit, you can put it, it doesn't matter, but I like to put it on the bottom. You can have the 1 floating above nothing. Just know the 1 is on a domain of itself. If you would like, if it helps, you can put a 0 here. And look, because 56, okay, if you add a 0 here, that's a new number. That becomes 560, right? But if you were to put 56 and put a 0 here, that 0 doesn't mean anything. It's still 56, okay? You remember that from the last unit? Okay, good job. So 2 plus 6 is 8. Good job. What's 5 plus 3? Also 8. Good job. And then imagine the 0 here. If it was there or not, just know that there's nothing there. Yep, 1 plus 0, 1. Okay, good job. See, you seem to be getting the hang of this. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel about this? Okay, how do you feel about that? Okay, an 8. Good job. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, great. Now let's do subtraction. You did fine on the addition part in our last quiz, but the subtraction, you seem to be struggling a little bit. Okay, so same thing, you can do minus. Now remember what I talked about up here? Subtraction works a little bit differently, okay? The depending on which number is first and when it's written in its horizontal form does matter, okay? Now we're not gonna we get into negative numbers later in the unit, but basically if you subtract a bigger number from a smaller number, you will end up with a number less than 0. Yeah, you might have seen it on your big siblings homework, negative numbers. Yeah, okay. So, for example, if you have 50 minus 20, okay, the big numbers first, all is good. We get 30, right? Because 50 minus 20 is 30, and we can double check that by adding 20 to 30, and you would get 50. But like I said, if you put the 20 first, 20 minus 50, what would we end up? That's right. You're subtracting 50 from 20. You're taking away more than what you are starting with, and you would end up with a negative number, in this case, negative 30. Yes, in these cases, it's basically the same, just the number would be negative. We'll talk about that in the next unit, but now you know you'll be ahead of the rest of the class, okay? You can show that to your parents, and they'll be happy about that, and they won't be on my ass, okay? Yeah, great job. Okay. Glad you know that. So, when doing subtraction here, know that you want to put the smaller number on the bottom, okay? So, let's do 15 minus 30, okay? So 30 is the bigger number. 30 is bigger than 15. It goes on top. And fun fact, what is the relationship between 30 and 15? Good job. That's right. 30 is double 15. If you multiply 15 by 2, you will end up with 30. That's right. So what do we do here? We want to subtract. It's just like addition. We work with each digit at a time. So we want to subtract 5 from 0. Now, we run into a problem. 5 is bigger than 0, correct? So negative 5, that's not what you do. You would not put negative 5 here. What you would do is this number needs help from its upper digit. So what you can do is, that's right, you're remembering now? Okay, yep. You take away 1 from this number, and then you can put the smaller number above that. Now, you add 10 because because 30 is like multiples of 10. That's 3 10s. We just took away 10 from the 30 to make it a 20. Okay, I know this is complicated. Stay with me. We took away 10 from the 30, and we're turning it into 20, and then we're going to add 10 to the 0. So 10 plus 0 is 10. So imagine, I'm just going to leave that 10 there. So just, yes, exactly. You're following along? Perfect. So just imagine that, like, we're separating the digits. So this is now 20. Imagine that this is 20 plus 10. Okay, let me make this a little bit bigger. Yes. So imagine that we just subtracted 10 from this. So now this is 20, and we added 10 to this. So it's like 20 plus 10. You see that? 20 plus 10. And then imagine this is like 10 plus 5. Okay? Right. Exactly. And then, so now that this is 10, we subtract 5 from that. What's 10 minus 5? Imagine, if you ever need help imagining what that would be, what would you add to 5 to make 10? A 5, correct. So 10 minus 5 is 5. Now, remember I said split up, it would be like 10 plus 5. Now subtract 10 from 20. And what do you get? You get 10, correct. But in this case, it's like 1 minus 2. But just know it's in the second digit, so it's 10 and 20, not 1 and 2. So it's basically 2 minus 1, which is 1, which is 15. But you already knew that because you know your multiplication tables, and you knew that 15 times 2 is 30. So you knew that subtracting 15 from 30 would get you another 15 because you're a smart cookie. All right, good job. Let's do a bigger number before we move on to multiplication, okay? You're doing great so far, okay? I'll even give you a little snack afterwards, all right? So, let's see. Let's work with some big numbers, okay? So, put your minus table here, subtraction table, sorry. And we're gonna do 256 and 179, okay? What goes on the top and what goes on the bottom? 179 goes on the bottom, good job. And 256 on top. And why is that? Because 256 is the bigger number, correct. Okay, so we're gonna subtract our first digit here. And what do you notice? What's our first problem? 9 is, in fact, higher than 6. So what do? We're going to steal from our best friend 5 over here, turn him into a 4, and add 10 to 6. What does that become? 10 plus 6. It's okay, you can use your fingers. Good job, 16. Okay, boom, 16. Now, 16 is bigger than 9, so we can subtract them. What's 9 minus 16? Correct, it is 7. If you, a little hack for you, a little life hack. Anytime you are subtracting something from 9, just imagine subtracting from 10 and then adding like 1 more to that number. So 16 minus 10 would be 6. You know that, it's pretty easy because, 16, 10, it's just 10 plus 6. So 16 minus 10 would be 6, but since we're subtracting by 9, you can just add 1 more and it would be 7. Or don't do that. Maybe that's too complicated. Okay. So 16 minus 9 is 7. Good job. And then we're going to, now this 5 turned into a 4. So now we're working with a 4, not a 5. And what do we notice about 7 and 4? That's right. 7 is higher than 4. So what are we going to do? Same thing as before. We're going to grab from our best friend 2 right here, turn it into a 1. Just subtract 1 from it. And then add 10 to 4, which gives us 14. Good job. Now, what do we do now? Subtract 7 from 14. Good job. And what do we notice about those two numbers? It's okay if you don't remember. 7 is 14. Is a common factor of 14. 7 14 divided by 7 is 2, or in other words, 7 times 2 is 14. Anyways, so what does that mean? When we subtract 7 from 14, that means we'll end up with another 7. Perfect. And then we're no longer working with a 2, we're working with a 1, because remember we took away 1 from 2 to help out 4. Now we have a 1, and we're subtracting 1 from 1. What does that equal? 0. Good job. And then this is our answer. That would be 77. Yes, because remember what I told you? This 0 doesn't mean anything because it's in front of these numbers. Anytime you have 0 in front of a number, it doesn't mean anything. But if it's on the tail, then it is significant. Good job. Okay. So, good job. And we'll go over this again on your next one tomorrow in class before the quiz. But you should be getting a better understanding now, right? Good job. Okay. There we go. 77. And shoot, I think we're running a bit low on time, but this quiz is only going to be about both subtraction and addition problems combined. So not just addition or just subtraction, it's both combined. But so this will help you with that, okay? You get one addition problem and then a subtraction problem and another addition problem. And because you came to tutoring, I'll tell you how many questions are on this quiz. There are only 9, okay? Only 9 questions. And they'll all look something like this. They might be big. Now, there is a bonus question at the end that works with numbers bigger than in the hundreds. So you're going to see thousands. But don't panic. It's the same thing. Same concept. You don't have to change anything, okay? It's literally just the same. Like, if you have 1,568 minus 1,420. Same stuff. 0, 8. That's easy. It's 8, 2, 6, 4, 1, 0. Boom. Look at that. Okay, easy stuff. Yeah. And, you know, just if any time this number is bigger than that one, you are, you just help it out by subtracting 1 from its neighbor, adding 10 to it. Easy stuff. And addition is even easier. You know how to add. It's all about carrying the 1 over, adding it to the numbers below it. Okay? Next time we'll go over multiplication and division. Okay? So, yeah, let me see your sheet. Okay, I'll sign off for you. Good job. Okay, give that to your parents. Okay? And here you go. You can have a little Belvita Crunch cookie, okay? Because you're such a smart cookie. Please tell your parents to be a little nicer to me, okay? They're really beating me up in these emails, okay? All right. I think your parents should be here to pick you up about now, right? Great. I'll see you next time, and you should do amazing on the quiz. And remember, you are getting 5 extra bonus points. I'll see you next time in class tomorrow. Bye-bye.